All right, so today we're going to break down Tony Robbins' giant book, Money, Master the Game, into a really powerful 5-minute blueprint. I mean, he interviewed more than 50 of the world's absolute best financial minds to create a 7-step plan for financial freedom. So let's get into it.
This right here, this is the question that changes everything. You know, for most of us, we trade our time for a paycheck, and that's kind of where the story ends. But if you want to build real, lasting wealth, that whole equation has got to flip. You have to become an owner, an investor, and get your money working for you 24/7.
So why do so many people get stuck? Well, Tony Robbins says it's because the financial world is a game, and most of us are playing it without even knowing the rules. And honestly, the system is often set up for the house to win, profiting from all the complexity and, well, from us not knowing any better.
And these are the big myths that the financial industry literally banks on you believing. The whole beat the market idea, it just pushes people into high-risk gambling. And thinking your broker is your friend? Not exactly. Many are basically salespeople. What you really want is a fiduciary, someone who's legally required to act in your best interest. But the most dangerous myth of all is that fees are just some minor detail.
Yep, we're talking about fees. They are, without a doubt, the silent killer of your wealth. They're usually buried deep in the fine print of mutual funds and retirement plans, and they just quietly suck away your returns, year after year after year. Okay, let's put some real numbers on this because this is where it gets crazy. Let's say you have a tiny 1% annual fee on a $100,000 investment. Doesn't sound like much, right? But because of the power of compound growth, that little 1% fee can rob you of over $186,000 over 30 years. It's a fortune, just gone.
So what do? It all comes down to picking the right vehicle for your money. On one side, you've got these actively managed funds that try to be clever and beat the market. They charge huge fees for this, and get this, 96% of them fail to actually do it in the long run. The alternative, which guys like Warren Buffett recommend, is super simple. Low-cost index funds. They just track the whole market, have tiny fees, and, well, they consistently win.
All right, before we even get to the how-to, we got to talk about what's going on up here in your head. It's about a huge psychological shift. You have to stop thinking like someone who just earns and spends and start thinking like someone who owns assets. It's moving from being a consumer to becoming an investor.
This, right here, is the decision that changes the game. It means you pay yourself first. You set it up so a part of your income automatically goes into your investments before you can spend it on anything else. This one habit, it's the real difference between people who build wealth and those who stay stuck. And this is the magic that does all the heavy lifting for you. Compound interest. It's the engine of wealth. It's not just your money making money, it's the earnings from your money starting to make their own money. It's like a tiny snowball rolling down a hill that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Want to see just how powerful this is? Check out this story. William starts investing at age 20 and stops at 40. His brother James starts at 40 and invests for even longer. Now, even though James put in more of his own money, William ends up with over 6 times more wealth. Why? Just those extra 20 years for his money to compound. The lesson here is simple. Time is your single greatest asset. It's less about how much you start with and way more about how early you start. Okay, so you've got the mindset on lock. Now you need a playbook, a real actionable plan. And that means you need a clear target and a simple strategy to hit it. You know, when people hear financial freedom, they think of some crazy, unattainable number. But Robbins breaks it down into these totally winnable stages. Just start with the first one. Figure out the number you need to cover your most basic costs: rent, food, utilities. That's financial security. It makes the game feel winnable and gives you a foundation of peace of mind to build on. Now, probably the single biggest decision you'll make with your money is asset allocation, how you split it up. Robbins makes this super simple. Think of it as 2 buckets. You've got your security bucket, which is all about protecting your money. This is the cash you absolutely cannot afford to lose. Then you have your growth bucket. That's your engine. It takes on a bit more risk to really grow your wealth. It's all about finding the right balance between the two. So what does a balanced portfolio actually look like in practice? Well, here's a concrete example from the billionaire investor Ray Dalio. He calls this the all-weather portfolio, and it's designed to do pretty well no matter what the economy is doing. Now look, this is just one example. The big idea here is balance, not trying to predict the future. The most important thing is that you do your own research and find a strategy that really works for you.
All right, so we've talked about how to build wealth, but what's it all for? Tony Robbins makes it really clear that just piling up money is not the goal. The real reason to master this game is to design a life that's full of meaning, fulfillment, and the ability to make an impact.
And this really is the whole point of the book. True wealth isn't just about what you have, it's about what you can do with what you have. The freedom that money gives you is the freedom to contribute, to help other people, to spend your time on what truly matters to you. Because at the end of the day, contribution, that's what makes for a truly rich life, not just a full bank account. So there you have it. The game is laid out for you. You know the rules. The playbook is right here. The only thing left to do is make your first move. So what's it going to be? Are you going to calculate your financial security number? Or maybe automate your first investment? Or just go check the fees on your retirement account? Whatever you choose, just remember, the whole journey starts with that one single step.